So last year there was that big controversy where in the preseason, Jordan Poole and Draymond Green had a skirmish, and Draymond Green decked him, and everybody freaked out. But yet Steve Kerr's reaction was he was upset the video got out. And I kept saying, I've got it sourced. Nobody likes Jordan Poole. It's bad for chemistry. Nobody can stand him. He's immature. Now, that doesn't give you a right to deck people, but when you taunt people and you're immature as a pro athlete, and one of the people you taunt is the NBA's current tough guy, you may get popped. It's not a sidewalk on the street. It's practice. You're taunting somebody. I wouldn't even recommend taunting somebody on the sidewalk, but stuff happens in sports that you don't see. Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr, I said over and over again. You just didn't see it. Tiger Woods wasn't the only guy to have an affair on the tour. It's the one you heard about. Don't pretend what you see on the internet is the truth or the only truth. There's lots of truths. I heard a story yesterday about Conor McGregor. My head is still spinning. Most people will never hear about it. The reality is, Draymond Green got into a wrestling match the other day, and people get very upset about it. Why would he ever change? 8 times all defensive team, 1-time defensive player of the year, 4 rings, absolute lock for a Hall of Famer, and next to Steph Curry, the second most important person in a 10-year dynasty. But Jordan Poole is an irrelevant NBA player. Was, is, and will be for the rest of his career. The Wizards are 2-9. He's underachieving at 16 per. He can't even be the best player on that mess, and people are already making fun of him. He is irrelevant and annoying and immature. You may not get Draymond. Steve Kerr does. Joe Lacob, the billionaire, does. Steph Curry, Clay, they all do. Sometimes you've seen couples argue. They're a little crazy. You and your wife can't figure out how they stay together, but they've got a great family, a great business. You don't get them. You don't have to. The people that need to understand Draymond Green get him. And the positives overwhelm the occasional chokehold, punch at practice, semi-controversy. But no, in the room, in the plane, on the bench, he's an absolute catalyst. Well, you're just defending him because he's the greatest defensive player in the league over the last decade with 4 rings and 8-time first or second all defense. Everybody always wants a physical team. You hear that all the time. USC isn't physical enough. Your NBA team's not physical enough. And then when you get a physical guy, this is what it looks like. The occasional punch at practice. The occasional chokehold defending his player. I know it makes you totally uncomfortable. That's because you saw it, and that stuff happens all the time, and you don't. But if somebody picked on my star in hockey, Gretzky always had a guy. Always had a guy. Draymond is that guy. Somebody's got to clean up the trash. Somebody's got to be the bouncer on the Skinny Jeans nightclub. Everybody complains. They want physicality. When you get it, this is what it looks like. The enforcer, the supporter, the think later, act now to defend my guy. This is what it looks like. And it is, at times, hard to explain. According to Andrew Callahan of the Boston Herald, that sounds like a reputable source. The Boston Herald, they use ink newspapers overnight. Breaking news. Andrew Callahan says Mac Jones has lost, quote, the vast majority of the locker room after Week 10. 2 reasons, I think, why he has. Number one, I think this New England staff has become a very weak offensive staff. I said yesterday, this staff now is retreads, Belichick's kids, and players who played for Bill that can tolerate him. The really sharp minds, a lot of the young offensive people, they want no part of this staff. The young, smart scouts, they don't want any part of draft day for Belichick. Go look at their 2022 draft. That's all Bill controlled. 1 starter, 8 stiffs. I think first year, Mac Jones was very effective with Josh McDaniels. He left. The coaching's gotten worse. And the second thing is, Mac was always limited athletically, so he was somebody that needed weapons to flourish. And there's an argument, and I think it's fairly conclusive, that Mac Jones had better running back and wide receiver talent at Alabama than he does in the NFL. And I don't think it's particularly close. So I think Mac Jones would look different if he had Brock Purdy's weapons and Kyle Shanahan. Of course, almost everybody would. But I don't think this is a fair representation after his rookie year of what he is, but I can also acknowledge he's been disappointing. I thought this was a perfect landing spot for him with Josh McDaniels. Once Josh left, it's the worst possible landing spot. Now, it should be noted duly. Go to Tom Brady's last year in New England. He had an 88 passer rating, which is lower right now than Sam Howell and Justin Fields. He completed 60% of his throws, did Tom, 24 touchdowns, 8 picks. This thing was falling apart when Mac Jones got there. It's only gotten worse. The Matt Patricia move at best is puzzling. So I do think Mac Jones, if he's lost the locker room, Gronk suggested he should just ask out and start over again. I don't think that's terrible if they go draft a quarterback. And if the Patriots lose to the Giants here in about a week, they may get that second pick. But I can acknowledge I thought this was the perfect spot for him. He wouldn't be relied on. They'd win with defense. He had Josh McDaniels, and he was very effective as a rookie. It has gone downhill, and I think they're going to go get another quarterback. According to this story by Andrew Callahan, he's lost the locker room. We have hinted at that. J-Mac and I have hinted at that. I told you 3-4 weeks ago, I had been told that he was confronted last year by a member on the offensive group, a player, and that the coaching staff was basically furious with him in the offseason for looking for answers outside the building. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.